Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all of my viewers. Today, I am Alya Binti Fariz from class PPISMP TESL who present to you about my assignment 2, which is a presentation about the implications of aspiration and direction of education towards the formation of educated, spirited teachers. Before I start, let me state a disclaimer that this video is only to fulfill the course assignment GPPP1092 Introduction to Education Studies and Learning only. All similarities and information are taken from open sources and there is no intention to touch the sensitivity of any party. Since we want to learn more about the aspiration of education, first of all, it is important for us to know what is the meaning of aspiration first. According to Gorard, Bang and Davis, aspiration is what an individual hopes will happen in the future. A key indicator might be a child's reported desire to continue with education post the year 16 years old and post high school. Next, you must be wondering, what is the meaning of education? Well, there's a lot of definition of education in the internet by many philosophers. But according to the National Education Philosophy in Malaysia, education in Malaysia is an ongoing effort towards further developing the potential of individuals in a holistic and integrated manner so as to produce individuals who are first, intellectually, second, spiritually, third, emotionally, and lastly, physically balanced and harmonious based on a firm belief and devotion to God. Next, as we all know, teachers are important to one country. But why? First of all, teachers serve to be as the nation builder. According to Jagadesh Kumar, teachers influence the immature minds of the youth. They also treat and try to mold the living stuff into various forms. The future of a nation is fashioned by them through the process of education. As a facilitator of learning, the teacher is involved in motivating the pupils to learn, maintaining discipline in the classroom and the school in general, and creating a conducive environment for learning to take place. Now, you must be wondering, what is the meaning of a conducive environment? Okay, conducive here means providing the right conditions for something good to happen or exist. For example, such a noisy environment was not conducive to a good night's sleep. And a quiet room is a more conducive atmosphere for studying. Lastly, before we jump into the content, I will read the aspiration of education in Malaysia. According to the Malaysian Education Blueprint 2013 to 2025, to prepare the nation to perform at an international level, it is important to first envision what a highly successful education must accomplish, particularly in the Malaysian context. This aspiration comprises of two aspects. Firstly, those for the education as a whole, and secondly, those for the individual students themselves. This vision and these aspirations will set the stage for the transformation of the Malaysian education system. First and foremost, let us see what is the meaning of Malaysian Standard Quality of Education, which is we call as SKPM. Education Act 1996, subsection 117A, allocates to the Chief Inspector of Schools the responsibility to ensure that satisfactory teaching standards are established and maintained in educational institutions. Realizing the importance of this responsibility being carried out effectively, JNJK has introduced a clear and a comprehensive standard of education quality, known as Malaysian Education Quality Standard (SKPM 2010). The SKPM 2010 contains 5 standards that include all aspects that lead to the creation of a satisfactory educational quality, which is Standard 1, which focuses on school leadership, acts as a high-impact leader, and is able to mobilize school members in an integrated manner to advance the school and improve the quality of learning and teaching, which is what we know as PNP. Next, moving on to Standard 2. Standard 2 focuses on the organization of the school is managed by taking into account the potential and needs of the staff, the availability of internal resources, and utilizing external resources so that the school can function efficiently and effectively. Next, Standard 3 is the areas of curriculum, co-curriculum, and sports and student affairs are managed efficiently and effectively to ensure that school functions as a learning institution in producing intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and physically balanced students. Based on the National Education Philosophy. Next, Standard 4 is teachers plan and implement a high-quality PNP process, which is TTL learning, and strive to continuously develop students' potential and achievement at an optimal level. The last standard is students' whole group. Education at school produce students who are knowledgeable, skilled, noble, responsible, and capable of achieving personal well-being. Well, what is the meaning of well-being? Okay, well-being here means that a certain student will have the presence of positive emotions and moods such as contentment and happiness, and the absence of negative emotions such as depression and anxiety. The Malaysian Education Blueprint 2013 and 2025 consists of 3 lenses, which is what we call as the 3 lenses of PPM. What are the 3 lenses of PPM? First is understanding. What do we want to understand? We want to understand the current performance and challenges with a focus on improving access to education, raising standards of quality, and closing achievement gaps, which is equity, and fostering unity among students, as well as maximizing system efficiency. Next, the second lens of PPM is creating. What do we want to create? Exactly. We want to create a clear vision and aspirations for individual students and the education system as a whole. Lastly, is outlining. What do we want to outline? We want to outline a comprehensive transformation program for the system, including key changes to the ministry, to meet new demands and to ignite support and overall civil service transformation. Other than that, there's also the aspirations of the national education system. There are 5 outcomes that this blueprint aspires for the Malaysian education system as a whole. First is access, quality, equity, unity, and efficiency. These outcomes are in line with the aspirations articulated by participants during the national dialogue and are comparable to outcomes set by other high-performing education systems. Action across all 5 areas are important and no initiatives in one area should detach from or undermine progress in another. First of all, there's access. Every Malaysian child deserves equal access to an education that will enable the child to achieve his or her potential. The Ministry aspires to assure universal access and full enrollment of all children from preschool through to upper school level by 2020. The next aspiration is quality. All children will have the opportunity to attain an excellent education that is uniquely Malaysian and comparable to the best international systems. The aspiration is for Malaysia to be in top third of countries in terms of performance in international assessments as measured by outcomes in TIMSS and PISA within 15 years. TIMSS and PISA currently test for literacy, mathematics, and science only. Additional assessments that address other dimensions of quality that are relevant to the Malaysian context may be included as they are developed and become more accepted international standards. The third aspiration is equity. Top-performing school systems deliver the best possible education for every child, regardless of their geography, gender, or socio-economic background. The Ministry aspires to halve the current urban to rural socio-economic and gender achievement gaps by 2020. The fourth aspiration touches on unity. As students spend over a quarter of their time in school from the ages of 7 to 17, schools are in key position to foster unity. Through interacting with individuals from a range of socio-economic, religious, and ethnic backgrounds, students will learn to understand, accept, and embrace differences. This will create a shared set of experience and aspiration to build Malaysia's future on. The Ministry aspires to create a system where students have opportunities to build this shared experience and aspirations that form the foundation for unity. And for the last aspiration, which is efficiency, the Malaysian education system has always been well funded, yet there are still improvements in students' outcomes have not always matched the resources channeled into the system. While the government will maintain current levels of investment, the aspirations of the national education system is to further maximize student outcomes within the current budget levels. To end this section, I will recap the 5 aspirations of the national education system to make you understand better. First is access, which is 100 enrollment across all levels from preschool to upper secondary by 2020. Next is quality. Malaysia will be the top third of countries in international assessments such as PISA and TIMSS in 15 years. Third is equity, which is 50% reduction in achievement gaps. In urban to rural, socio-economic and gender aspects by 2020. Fourth is unity, which is an education system that gives children shared values and experiences by embracing diversity. And lastly is efficiency, which is a system that maximizes students' outcome within current budget. Other than the 5 system aspirations set for the Malaysian education system, there's also 6 student aspirations that we must know. These 6 student aspirations needed by every student to be globally competitive. Beyond these system-wide outcomes, stakeholders were also very clear on what quality should be at the individual student level. In a nutshell, educators, parents, students, and other members of the public were united in a vision of education as a vehicle for the holistic development of children from the intellectual, spiritual, emotional, and physical dimensions. This is the same vision that has underscored all education improvements efforts since the National Education Philosophy was written back in 1988. Looking ahead, the blueprint will continue to use the National Education Philosophy's vision of a balanced education as its foundation for individual student aspiration. It has also drawn on learnings from other high-performing systems in other countries to develop a refined articulation of the specific skills and attributes that students would need to thrive in tomorrow's economy and globalized world. Firstly, let me touch on the knowledge aspect. Every child will be fully literate and numerate at the most basic level, as well as mastering core subjects such as mathematics, science, and informed with general knowledge of Malaysia, Asia, and the world, and other skills such as arts, music, and sports. The second student aspiration is thinking skills. Every child will learn how to continue acquiring knowledge throughout their lives, which is instilling a love for inquiry and lifelong learning to be able to connect different pieces of knowledge and to create new knowledge. Every child will master a range of important cognitive skills, including critical thinking, reasoning, creative thinking, and innovation. Unlike before, students were less able than they should be in applying knowledge and thinking critically outside familiar academic contexts. The third aspiration is leadership skills. In our increasingly interconnected world, being able to lead and work effectively with others is critical. The education system will help every student to reach their full potential by first creating formal or informal opportunities for students to work in teams, as well as taking on leadership roles such as entrepreneurship, resilience, emotional intelligence, and strong communication skills. The fourth aspiration is bilingual proficiency. At minimum, every child will be operationally proficient in Bahasa Malaysia, which is our national language and the language of unity, and English as the international language. There's also the need to encourage students to learn an additional language such as Bahasa Arab, Chinese, and or Tamil. The fourth aspiration is ethics and spirituality. It is to prepare the children to rise to the challenge they will face in adult life, resolve conflicts, peacefully, deploy sound judgments and principles during critical moments, and have the courage to do what is right. It is also to nurture caring individuals for the betterment of the community. The last aspect that I will touch in the sixth student aspiration is national identity. An unshakable sense of identity as tied to the Rukun Negara is necessary. For every child will be proudly identified as a Malaysian, irrespective of ethnicity, religion, or socio-economic status, and to require every child to understand the country's history and share a common aspiration for their future and embrace the diversity. Moving on to the next topic that I will touch during this presentation is the 11 shifts needed to transform the system. Back then, the ministry has identified 11 shifts that will need to occur to deliver the step change in outcomes envisioned by all Malaysians. Each shift will address at least one of the 5 system outcomes of access, quality, equity, unity, and efficiency, with quality as the common underlying focus across all shifts, due to the fact that this is dimension which require the most urgent attention. Some of the shifts represent a change in the strategy and direction. Others represent operational change in the way the ministry and schools have historically implemented existing policies. Regardless of whether it is a strategic or operational shift, they all represent a move away from current practices. Allow me to summarize the 11 shifts to transform the system. The first shift is providing equal access to quality education of an international standard. The second shift is to ensure every child is proficient in Bahasa Malaysia and English language and is encouraged to learn an additional language. And the third shift is to develop values-driven Malaysians. Moving on to the fourth shift, which is transforming teaching into the profession of choice. Shift 5, which is ensuring high-performing school leaders in every school. Shift 6, which is empower JPNs, PPDs, and schools to customize solutions based on needs. Shift 7 is leveraging ICT to scale up quality learning across Malaysia. Shift 8 is about transforming ministry delivery capabilities and capacity. Shift 9 is partnering with parents, communities, and private sector at scale. Shift 10 is about maximizing student outcomes for every ringgit. And last but not least, Shift 11, which is to increase transparency for a direct public accountability. So, what impact will this transformation journey have? There are 5 factors or aspects that we can look into, which is first, from the student's perspective, second, from the teacher's perspective, third, from the school leader's perspective, fourth, from the ministry officials, and lastly is from the parents. What benefits will students get from these initiatives? First and foremost, they will get to learn in an environment where the fundamental beliefs is that all students can learn and all students can succeed. They will also have richer school experience, both academic and non-academic, so that they can excel in life. And lastly, students will have greater say in shaping their learning experience. How about the teachers? The teachers will have the support they need to succeed. where they will enjoy better working conditions, performance-based rewards, and enhanced pathways. They will also be immersed in a culture of collaboration and professional excellence. School leaders, such as principals and headmasters, will have the support and resources they need to guide their schools effectively, and they will enjoy better working conditions and performance-based rewards. And lastly, they will be empowered through greater school-based management. Looking from the perspective of ministry officials, they will receive targeted support, training, and resources needed to fulfill their new roles and responsibilities. They will also work in a collaborative and transparent environment, and ministry officials will receive greater operational flexibility and accountability. Lastly, let's look onto the parents' perspective. Parents will have a better understanding of how their children are developing and how they can help them to improve more. And they will have more opportunities to provide input into their school's improvement strategies. In this last part of my presentation, I will touch upon the subject about teacher as an educator, the path to creating educator-spirited teachers. Before I start, I want to explain first what is an excellent teacher, or more commonly known as Guru Cemerlang in Malaysia. According to the Ministry of Education, Guru Cemerlang are teachers who receive the title Guru Cemerlang due to promotional exercise and who are deemed experts in their teaching and have shown high qualities in their personality and leadership, as well as vast teaching experience. There are 5 characteristics of an excellent teacher that I have listed here. First of all is effective, high cognitive abilities, suitable personalities such as extroverted, approachable, outgoing, caring, and knowledgeable, good classroom management, and lastly, committed and responsible. Now, I will explain further to make you understand what are the meaning of the characteristics of an excellent teacher that I listed before. First of all is effective. When teachers display good qualities, they are considered as effective. It can be measured by the impact of teachers on students' achievement, cognitive ability, personality attributes, and educational background are also the key indicators to know that a teacher is effective or not. They will also use appropriate teaching style based on different students that they will teach. Next is high cognitive abilities. What do I mean by teachers having high cognitive abilities and why it is important? Teachers' cognitive abilities determine students' academic performance and effective classroom management. From teachers' high cognitive abilities, students learn more from teachers with certain cognitive characteristics such as mastering the content knowledge and the ability to design and deliver the knowledge for a diverse classroom effectively. Excellent teachers also have suitable personalities which affect instructional and student achievement, such as extroverted traits, approachable, enthusiastic, outgoing with a sense of humor, and based on the Big 5 personality test, agreeableness is significant in students' perception in their teachers, and for English teachers, on the other hand, being flexible, supportive, kind and friendly, lovely character, warm and tolerate usage of mother tongue when facilitating students' participation are few of the characteristics needed by an English teacher. Next is good classroom management. Teachers who are capable of managing their classrooms effectively will reassure better educational outcomes. They have the ability to reduce or minimize highly disruptive classroom behavior. And because of that, students are less likely to demonstrate problem behaviors and more likely to engage in active and correct response. And thus, it will create healthy competitions in the classroom. The last characteristics the last characteristic of an excellent teacher is being committed and responsible. Numerous studies found that commitment and responsibilities ensure quality or effective classroom management and teaching effectiveness. It is found that qualified and non-qualified teacher educators have similar levels of commitment towards their profession. Moving on to the teaching ethics in the classroom. What are the ethics that teachers must follow in order to create a good classroom environment? First of all, there is care. Second, justice. Next is critique. The fourth aspect is profession, and the last aspect is community. What do I mean by these 5 words? First of all, care means meeting individual students' needs and developing positive relationships that show nurturing and care for students. Next, justice means respecting individual students and dealing with them with fairness, following due process to protect their civil and human rights. Critique is all about engaging in discourse of questioning the status quo, analyzing and evaluating who benefited from the laws, and demonstrating sensitivities to inequities. Profession is about using professional code of ethics and keeping the student at the center of teachers' decision. Lastly, community is about being concerned with community issues such as student achievement and success for all. Before I end my presentation, I want to give my utmost appreciation and thanks to those who are willing to watch my video. I hope you guys get something new from my presentation. Thank you.